Hello students, welcome to the lecture on mass media, and after this lecture we will be able to learn the following objectives. Discuss the status of mass media in society, briefly understand the process of communication, discuss about the advantages and disadvantages of media, describe the role and power of mass media, and explain the relation between social movements and media. Mass media, an introduction. Let us start with mass media. Mass media refers to communication devices which can be used to communicate and interact with a large number of audiences in different languages. The simplest definition of mass communication is public communication transmitted electronically or mechanically. Inform, educate, and entertain are the functions of mass media. Inform. Those who write, direct, or produce programs are people who give us messages. They inform us. Educate. A doctor speaks on radio or television or writes in a newspaper about how to prevent a disease. It is educating. Entertain. All the commercial cinema, television serials, and music programs are entertaining. Channels are the means through which messages are sent. These may be newspapers, films, radio, television, or the internet. The communication process. Communication can best be summarized as the transmission of a message from a sender to a receiver in an understandable manner. Aspects of the communication process. Channels. Channels are the ways the message travels to the receiver. Sound waves carry spoken words. Light waves carry visual messages. Decoding. Receiving the message. It refers to activities that translate or interpret physical messages into a form that has eventual meaning for a receiver. Feedback. It refers to those responses of the receiver that shape and alter the subsequent message of the source. Noise. It is defined as anything that interferes with the delivery of the message. Communication settings. After knowing about the aspects of communication process, let us now learn about the three common communication settings. Interpersonal communication. In this setting, one person or group is interacting with another person or group without the aid of a mechanical device. The source and receiver in this form of communication are within each other's physical presence. Machine-assisted interpersonal communication. In this setting, one or more people are communicating by means of a mechanical device or devices with one or more receivers. The source and receiver are both separated by time and space. The machine can also extend the range of the message by amplifying it and or transmitting it over large distances. Feedback can be immediate or delayed. Noise in the machine-assisted setting can be semantic and environmental as in interpersonal communication, but it can also be mechanical. Mass communication. It refers to the process by which a complex organization, with the aid of one or more machines, produces and transmits public messages that are directed at large, heterogeneous, and scattered audiences. Aspects of mass communication. Source. Until the advent of the internet and the web, the source in the traditional mass communication situation was typically a group of individuals who acted in predetermined roles in an organizational setting. Encoding, sending. Encoding in mass communication is always a multi-stage process. Decoding, receiving messages. Decoding, receiving messages in mass communication is always public. Receiver. The receiver in the mass communication process is the audience. The mass communication audience is a large one, heterogeneous, spread out over a wide geographic area, and it's self-defined. Feedback. The message flow in mass communication is typically one way, and feedback in many instances is more difficult than in the interpersonal setting. Noise. Noise in the mass communication setting can be semantic, environmental, or mechanical. A mass medium involves not only the mechanical devices that transmit and sometimes store the message, TV cameras, radio microphones, printing presses, but also the institutions that use these machines to transmit messages. Communication history. The communication process has developed over time and reached to the point where it stands now. In 1947, the invention of the transistor made radio the most popular medium for sending voice messages. Today, television, which can send voice as well as pictures, is found almost everywhere. This was invented by Baird in 1920. Let us know about some revolutions related to communication media in world history. Writing revolution. It began primarily in Greece about the 8th century BC. With writing used to store knowledge, knowledge would be boundless. Printing revolution. It began in Europe in the second half of the 15th century with a printing system that the German goldsmith Johannes Gutenberg assembled. Mass media revolution. It began in Western Europe and the Eastern United States during the middle of the 19th century with the convergence of advances in paper production and printing press methods and the invention of the telegraph, which changed the way information was conveyed. Entertainment revolution started in Europe and America towards the end of the 19th century with such technologies as stored sound, affordable came as, and motion photography. Stories were printed and sold cheaply. The creation of the communication tool, Shed Home, it evolved during the middle of the 20th century, transforming the home into the central location for receiving information and entertainment. Information highway. It is now being constructed out of the convergence of computer, broadcasting, satellite, and visual technologies. Let us now know the characteristics of revolutions. Each is based upon the invention of more than one tool of communication. Each took place where change of a different sort was stirring the society. The tools of communication gave social and political changes added dynamism and were themselves given a forward thrust by those other changes. Information revolutions tended towards some leveling of conditions for those who participated in them. As each information revolution has run its course, which was based on the widening availability of the tools of communication, content broadened. Each new communication technology has displaced some other means of communication or behavior that had been satisfactory until the new technology became available. Now, illiteracies have arisen to accommodate the new communication technologies. Tools of communication were influenced by marketing considerations. Types of mass media. Now we'll learn about the various types of mass media. Print media. Print media encompasses mass communication through printed material. Newspapers. Newspapers enjoyed the position of the most preferred medium to reach a wider audience until electronic communication emerged on the media scene. It plays a pivotal role in providing authentic first-hand information, building opinions, updating the knowledge of the reader, and serves as a good platform for advertisers to promote their products. Magazines. Magazines are another type of popular culture print media. They usually cater to a specific type of audience who are looking for information based on a particular subject. Booklets and brochures. Booklets and brochures are a part of the promotional literature of a product or an organization. House magazines, periodicals, or newsletters. Many organizations today invent various platforms like house magazines, periodicals, or newsletters to keep the stakeholders posted about the news related to the company. Direct mailers. Direct mailers are small pamphlets which are devices for direct advertising and marketing. Handbills or flyers. Handbills or a flyer is a form of communication which is printed on a small paper. Billboards. Billboards or hoardings are huge advertisements that are put up at a height in strategic locations to fetch more attention. Press releases. A press release is an important device of communication because it takes the relevant communication directly to the press. Books. They are a significant medium of mass communication as they have a large reader base. Electronic media. It is also called broadcast media and requires the user to utilize an electric connection to access it. Television. Television appeals both the auditory and visual senses and hence is an important communication device as it beholds the attention of the audience. Radio. Radio has a significant reach. Till date, radio remains one of the favorite means of electronic communication. New age media. Mobile phones, computers and internet are often referred to as the new age media. Mobile phones. It has made communication possible at any time and from anywhere. Computers. We virtually get information about everything from pin to piano with the help of computers. Internet. The discovery of internet can be called the biggest invention in mass media. It has become one of the core means of mass communication. Emails. They have drastically reduced the time taken to send letters manually as well as incorporated lesser use of paper. Websites. The most significant utility of these websites is for providing information, search engines, downloads through libraries, and interaction through the social networking sites. Podcasts. Podcasts are mediums of mass communication that include short video or audio files. E-forums. E-forums are bulletin boards on websites where people start threads on topics. Internet TV. It is also known as online TV. You can either view the programs directly from the host server or download the content on your computer. Mass media and its influence on the society. In present era of globalization, majority of people in the society depend on information and communication to remain connected with the world. The media has a huge impact on society in shaping the public opinion of the masses. They can form or modify the public opinion in different ways depending on what is the objective. Let us now talk on the pros and cons of mass media. Pros. The wide reach offered by mass media is phenomenal. It can target a global audience. It can reach a specified target group and is easily accessible. Certain types of media have a ready audience. The internet is such a medium that it can give many options for the kind of information required. Television, movies, internet, and the radio are some of the best forms of entertainment. It can be used for educational purposes. Cons. At times, the information reported may not be authentic from every angle. News can be manipulated to influence the minds of the audiences. Media bias can occur due to various issues. A particular event or a celebrity may receive undue importance and set wrong ideals before the youth. Unnecessary sensationalism of an issue may project wrong information to the public. Misleading messages may again divert young minds towards a wrong path. Wrong interpretation of news may even blow things out of proportion. Certain mass media, such as newspapers or leaflets, have a very short shelf life. Social movements and mass media. Social movements that are long-lived and effectively institutionalized. Social movements that are long-lived and effectively institutionalized within the society tend not to challenge the status quo directly and so consequently are less dependent on media coverage for their survival. However, media coverage may be crucial for other, less well-known social movements whose often transitional and adversarial nature tends to weaken their ability to secure public legitimacy. Media-supported social movements. The way a movement is portrayed in the media can have important implications for their ability to mobilize citizens to participate in their protests. There are many examples of media supporting social movements in world history. For example, in Australia, the media took on an advocacy role for a protest in Australia when Howard Sattler, the host of a popular Australian talkback radio program, stirred up racist sentiments amongst his listeners. An excellent example of contrasting media coverage can be seen in the reporting of the protests surrounding the US-led invasion of Iraq in 2003. Media facilitated movements and political unrest and social media. There have been many examples of media facilitated movements in different parts of the world. Iran, in June 2009, Neda Agha Sultan and some friends headed to the center of Tehran, Iran, to join an anti-government protest following the disputed presidential election. Serbia. Georgia's independent media played an important role in challenging legitimacy of their authoritarian government led by President Edward Shevardnadze. Summary. Now in the end, let us summarize what we have learnt in this lecture. Mass media refers to communication devices which can be used to communicate and interact with a large number of audiences in different languages. Communication can best be summarized as the transmission of a message from a sender to a receiver in an understandable manner. The three common communication settings are interpersonal communication, machine-based interpersonal communication, and mass communication. The types of mass media are print, electric, and new age. The media has a huge impact on society in shaping the public opinion of the masses. They can form or modify the public opinion. There have been many examples of media-facilitated movements in different parts of the world.